TruGossip, where gossip meets truth.
Good evening, and welcome to another episode of TruGossip, where gossip meets truth. With our returning panelists, Shabazz, a man with wisdom, Kinlaw, our Southern free thinker, myself, Tanya, your analytical thinker, and my co-host, Ramel, a man whose words is like a poet. And together, we are
First Cousins. Well, welcome to another episode of TruGossip, where gossip meets truth. Remember, nobody's wrong here, nobody's right here. We just all here to speak, we feel, and learn from one another. Today's topic is going to be about President Trump and COVID-19. I'm going to start with our Southern free thinker, John Kinlaw. Did President Trump handle the COVID-19 appropriate?
Let me start off by saying this. This thing has taken over the entire world in some form or fashion. I don't think one person could have got everything right. However, with that being said, it does bring some type of dysfunction in regards to understanding once information was starting to be noticed and being briefed to the president, whether or not did he act upon it seriously enough or not. Everybody always revert to him discontinuing flights from one location, said China and other places like that. However, people don't just fly into the States from China. They fly in from all over the world. So, in a sense, there was still a loophole there. That's where you probably had that big hotspot that took place in New York. Because typically when people fly from Europe, they tend to land in New York in most cases. I honestly have to say he dropped the ball in a lot of different ways. He dropped the ball in a lot of different ways. And leading up to now, to where now it's just disregard to information that's being put out there, is confusion. For me, the disappointment is when you have the head of the CDC's coming out telling you one thing on how to be preventive and take preventive actions. He's coming back, him and Vice President Pence come back behind, and they contradict the same information that they're standing next to being shared to the American people. So there's a lot of confusion. That's what leads to a lot of distraction and dysfunction and commotion amongst the American people.
Mm-hmm. And Shabazz, I'd like to hear from you. Can you elaborate on that?
Yes, sir. I don't think any president could have handled this whole thing correctly. They didn't know where it was coming from, how it was spread, or blah, blah, blah. It's kind of ironic that a virus shut down the country. It wasn't Al-Qaeda, it wasn't ISIS, it wasn't no outside terrorist organization, but an invisible microorganism that shut it down. So I don't think he could have handled it any kind of way. I'm kind of glad that he was in it when it went down instead of Obama. But again, his whole health department, all of that, he had fired them before, so he didn't even have a plan implemented in case of anything like this. So again, he fumbled on the first yard line, so.
Okay, and Tanya, what are your thoughts on President Trump?
Well, I got to piggyback off of what Shabazz just said, and Kinlaw. I don't think any president could have handled it in a way that we would not be in some type of circumstances where we are losing lives. But I have to say, Obama, before he left, and his team, they did leave a book, some type of information on how to handle a pandemic that might come. And he, President Trump, he just fired people that were still on that team. He let them go, and he disregarded the book and wanted to write his own thing. So to me, I say he didn't handle it well due to his ignorance. He wouldn't see the scientific proof. He's too busy playing politics and disagreeing with the scientists and disregarding lives. He's just disrespectful to the scientists, and he has no respect for scientists. And I feel that he did not handle this well at all.
Before we move on, I'd like to make a comment on this, and I'm going to stand firm what I'm about to say. I believe he was the worst person to be in charge. Yes, I'll piggyback off of what you all said about no president could have handled this where they could have avoided a situation, or they could have removed it or prevented it from spreading and coming out here to the U.S. and doing the damage it's done. But I do believe that somebody who has compassion for fellow people or fellow man, for that matter, will have handled this a little bit differently. When you're a self-centered and you're really stuck on yourself, and only thing that matters is you and your agenda, you're going to fail whoever you're supposed to be responsible for. You're going to fail. This situation that we're facing, listen, one death is too many. But to be at 138,000, approaching 140,000 deaths in less than a 5-month period. I mean, this is coming from March, we're in July. In less than a 5-month period, I believe that if Hillary was at the helm, we would be in a less situation, maybe only 60,000 deaths. You know, my thing is this, a simple task as wearing a mask, from maybe not day 1, maybe day 5, day 10, week 2, week 3, and maybe we're not in the situation that we are. Now, when you talk about President Barack Obama, one thing he had was compassion for all Americans. So I believe he would have definitely handled it better. And, you know, and to what Shabazz said, I wish it was on his watch, because we wouldn't be facing this situation. You know, but that you don't want this stain on his resume. I get that part.
Right.
You know?
Well, if I could add one thing, to add to what you guys have mentioned in regards to Obama, I wholeheartedly believe that he would have led by example by wearing a mask himself.
Yeah,
exactly.
Something as simple as that. At the end of the day, you're in the top position of the United States. In a lot of cases, you have to lead by example to show that, whether you believe in it or not. Okay, personally, you have to show that. Okay, if this what if you're giving federal mandated rules and obligations for people to wear masks, but you yourself are not wearing the mask.
Exactly.
It doesn't keep the wheel going in the same direction. So you're going to have your own supporters believe that, you know what, well, if he's not going to wear it, we're not going to wear it. And now you have this influx of different information being put out there.
I agree. All right, so we're going to move on to the next question, and I'm going to start with Shabazz on this one. You know, I came up with this slogan. He chose economy and wealth over people and health for his reelection. Was that a wise move by President Trump?
Yes, it was a wise move on his part. But we're talking about a person, again, to get reelected. Yeah, I think it was. But we're talking about you're in charge of a country. So what happens is when you mix in arrogance and ignorance, you get a Donald Trump. When you add in sprinkle in a little narcissism, you get a Donald Trump, because he's not caring. He has, like I said, no compassion over the people. It's him. It's how he's perceived by everybody else. So he really doesn't care about even his supporters. It's about him. So he chose that. Yeah, it was wise on his choice for him. But as for the so-called American people, no, it wasn't.
Okay. Tanya, your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think that he did choose economy and wealth over people for his reelection. He didn't give a darn about people at all. He, like Tajudeen said, he gives 2 F's about anybody. He has no compassion. He doesn't care about human beings. I don't even think he wants to, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't even think he wants to be the president of the United States. I just think that he doesn't want to lose. Donald Trump is the person who does not want to lose. So him being the president, he doesn't even care about being the president of the United States. This is why he does exactly what he does. And he cares about the dollar, and he cares about the numbers. He wants to win at everything, but he's truly a big loser at everything. As he would say, he's a bigly loser. That's what he would say. He's a failure And he has mental issues, and I think he needs to address that, because his mental issues is getting in the way of seeing. He doesn't have compassion. He doesn't have compassion. He doesn't have empathy. So I think that his compassion and empathy is towards the dollar bill and what the stock market looked like. So yes, he failed.
Before we go to our Southern free thinker, Mr. Kinlaw, I just want to chime in on this, and I'm going to stand firm with what I said. He made a huge mistake. He chose economy and wealth over people and health. And I say he made a huge mistake, because had he put us in a better situation from a social standpoint, from a standpoint where we feel free and welcome to leave our household with the least bit of concern, he would have been reelected easily. But he has put us in a position where we're going to family gatherings and we can't hug and kiss family members that we haven't seen in months or years, simply because we have to exercise life today with minimum risk. And here's the thing. The economy is always going to be up and down. If we're in a position where we can go out, we're going to spend. But if we're in a position where we have to remain in our homes, we're not going to spend. So to me, I can't necessarily blame him, because this is what happens when you put somebody in office that doesn't have political experience. And all he knows is business. And whether he was successful with it in his own personal endeavors, he knows business. And that's why he chose economy and wealth over people and health. But not one economy or wealth will walk into the polls and make a vote. It's people with health that's going to go in there and make a vote. Kinlaw, you close us out on this segment.
The quicker we realize that Donald Trump is not a president, he is a brand. I think that his sole reason for even running for president to expand his brand, to use the power of office to expand his power of business to other political leaders and things of that nature around the world. The first thing he did was create that arms deal in Saudi Arabia. Why was that the top of the agenda? That's a note to be dealt with later on. He chose economy because that's all he knows. What billionaire that's a personable individual? There's not too many of them. And in particular, in his case, he was born into wealth. He's never really had to associate himself with the norms. He's always been amongst the elites his entire life. So there's nothing at a 70-something-year-old man is going to change at that particular time of life. It is what it is. With this situation here, he ran off the basis that the economy was on its way up anyway. He wanted to come in office and stamp his name on being the economy leader, the person who saved and all this other stuff like that when it came to the economy. That's what his long life practices have been. He's had the money and the capital to pay other people to do the work, and he stamps his name Trump on it.
Right.
So now you're seeing the competence of the person that is in office now, who is facing probably his biggest crisis thus far in office, and he's clueless. He's completely clueless, because now even the people that he's paying, his little minions underneath him, don't even know what to do, and he has no way of being competent to understand what it is. So therefore, if it goes against what has been the norm, he gets rid of them, as you notice. Anybody who speaks against anything that he does, he gets rid of them. There's been more turnover in this administration I've recognized in my years of life. So yes, of course, it's going to be the economy, because that's the only thing that he has to run his base off of, because everything else has been downhill from that.
Can I say something on that? I just want to piggyback off of Kinlaw. He's right. He doesn't even have, most of his people are acting. He doesn't even have a permanent staff. In 4 years, he doesn't even have a permanent staff. He gets rid of everyone who goes against anything that he has to say. So that being said right there, if you don't have a permanent staff and you don't have someone that's going to lead you, because even though he's the president of the United States, you still need a team to correct you and give you corrective criticism and not be afraid to stand up to you to tell you when you're wrong. So I'm just going to leave it right there. Go ahead, Ramel.
This is the most timid Congress that I've seen alongside of a. You know, so I mean, he made his living as, you know, Kinlaw said it so appropriately, that a brand, and you know, when he had that show, The Apprentice, the show itself didn't do well. It was just the fact that you look for him to come out and fire somebody.
Fire someone, exactly.
Yeah, and it was almost like the clown wasn't funny on Living Color. You just was looking for, homie, don't play that. You know?
Right.
And that was his thing.
Right.
You're fired. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, yeah, so we're gonna move along. And that's a nice little segue, because we're talking about how, you know, he only really has business knowledge and not presidential savvy. So my question to you is, this is a guy who acts more like a boss than a president. So I asked Tanya to start. Has he shown that presidents going further should have some sort of political background, or can we hire another person who may not have political background? Your thoughts on that, Tanya? I'm
gonna tell you something. At first, when he decided that he was gonna run, I was like, you know what? Maybe this is something that we need. You know, maybe we need someone with a business background that can like jumpstart this economy and make things happen. But when the first year went by, my answer is yes. He has shown that you need some knowledge of what to do to be president of the United States. You need to know about you know, the economy. You need to know about abroad. You need to know about arms. You need to know about the army. You need to know about everything that goes on in America. You need to even know what it is to come over here into the United States as an immigrant. You know, he has no compassion even about that, and how this world that we live in the United States of America is a free world, and people come over here to better themselves. He doesn't even understand that. And his parents were immigrants. So yes, I feel that you need some type of experience to be a politician. You need to know history. You need to know economy. You need to know about world law. You need to know about global warming. There's a lot of things that he just don't have the knowledge of. And then his vocabulary, I'm sorry to say, is less than a 5-year-old. I'm not even going to say a 5th grader. His vocabulary is less than a 5-year-old. He doesn't know how to learn new things, and he doesn't want to learn how to know new things. He don't try to understand what people are saying to him, and he don't want to understand. He's incompetent. He's inconsiderate. He's obnoxious, disrespectful, and he just don't gaff, trying to keep it clean. Y'all know what that means.
Hi. Baz, I'd like for you to add on. What are your thoughts?
Yeah. Whenever you get into politics, you have to have, first of all, your background leading up to there. You know, if he was to use Obama as an example, Obama had no skeletons in the closet. He had no outside children, no tattoos, nothing. He didn't have anything like that. And he had a wife that backed him in pursuing a political position. So he led up to that. There's no background. Come on, man. Trump, come on. Now, this is my thing on Trump, right? The economy was boosted by what Obama left. So he should have came in as a businessman to run, because America is a corporation. So he would have been perfect on that aspect. But damn, you got naked pictures of your wife. You don't show her respect. You know, the things he said, grab him by the this and this, leading up to that. You know, when he first came into office, and I'm a comedian. So I told everybody, I said, be prepared for the best comedic sitcom for 4 years. Now, if they take it to the second season of the other 4 years, then you got season 2. And this dude has not let me down since he took office. You know, this is the greatest combined Mad TV, In Living Color, and Saturday Night Live. And you got the Donald Trump show. everything you want. The drama, all of that. This is a show. This dude can't run nothing. Even he failed in his own businesses. So how do you think he was going to run the corporation called America? That's all I got to say.
Kinlaw, your thoughts?
Let me check my watch on this one. Listen. Y'all remember the movie Boomerang, right?
Yes.
Right.
Trump is the epitome of Lady Eloise. She is the name, she's the face of the company, but she has dementia and she has no earthly idea of what decisions to make with the company, yet the company has made its money by her being the face of the company. Okay? Donald Trump, to me, is not a business person or a business-minded person. I think his business mind has left long time ago. He is suffering from some type of mental defect, because if a man can't read, much less talk better than the average 9-year-old, then no, he's not a business-minded person. All of us are set in some type of boardroom setting. Ramel, you and I, we sat in plenty of meetings together. Had we had an owner or a GM or whatever to say the things or to speak in the way that he speaks, we're going to have a shit day, excuse my language. But we don't feel like we're going to have a productive day, okay? So with that being said, I cannot follow his incompetence in the nature of how he can speak or articulate anything that he says on whatsoever. So for anyone that understands him, I don't understand them at all, okay? Let's keep it 100. Trump got in office. First off, you don't have to be a very knowledgeable person to run politics. All you have to do is be a likable person and have a large group of people support you, bearing record, bearing other things that they can hit you with. But if you're a likable person and get people to back you, you can run for office in some small town. There's 20-year-old mayors in America. You see what I'm saying? So Trump was the last great white hope for presidency. Trump is the example of people and the backlash of people seeing where America was progressing, and they saw that a black president got elected. And for those who didn't turn out to vote from the last couple of elections, they made sure that they're going to make sure that they get their guy in office this time. It didn't matter who was running.
That's it.
I mean, the Republican Party is not even the Republican Party. It's the party of Trump now.
Yeah.
The Republicans are like,
the party of the
hands
clown.
up. You know, the only awkward, funny thing that I could think of, because yes, I think that this has been the best reality show ever in the office. It's like a sitcom. However, a part of me really feels that Trump has probably been trying to play people for the longest to show how deep down dirty America really is, by doing any and everything possible to get impeached, to get unelected, to get people just to show face, all that stuff. He's doing everything possible. These are the things that Obama could not even imagine doing.
Right.
He couldn't even wear a tan suit, you know? And so I think Trump is really trying to do any and everything possible just to see how far he can push the envelope. And when he does lose this election, he's going to say, hey, listen, guys, y'all know I've been a lifelong Democrat all this time. I am not conservative. I don't know how I got the backing of the evangelical groups. I deal with Playboy. I deal with pornography. I hang out with the guy who got the girls on the island, Epstein. Y'all know how I get down. I rub elbows with Don King. You know, so it's like he is nothing. He is nothing of what is representative of what the GOP has branded themselves as saying that they're about. So that's the only best ending I could see this happening, other than him not winning again. Go ahead.
I'm going to close us out with this, and then we're going to do a little rapid fire. So what I want to say is I can't follow up with what y'all said. Everything y'all said. Tanya came with the blueprint. You put the bricks out, and he put the roof on the house. It's not what I can say. But I will say this. You definitely need in my inner Shaheem today. You need some political experience. You got to have political experience.
Right.
And he showed that. And as far as the economy booming, you said it was on his way up with Barack there. I believe any Caucasian man that would have became president the economy would have boosted because it was only but so much that was going to let happen under Obama's watch. All right? Real quick on the rapid fire, what are the chances you see of Trump getting reelected? Starting with you, Kinlaw, I'm sorry.
Rapid fire now.
Now listen, I don't see him getting reelected. I think a lot of people sat down on the sideline with this one. It was either you didn't like Hillary, so you probably gonna vote off, or never Trump. It was one of those things. But a lot of people didn't turn out to vote. I think you're gonna have a much bigger turnout. All right. Give and take the voter suppression that's going on right now.
Tanya, your thoughts? What kind of chance you give him?
Oh my God. I believe those things. I believe that some things might factor in for him to get reelected, but the Supreme Court was able to pass this law with the electoral votes, where there's 538 votes, right? And Hillary won in the popular vote, but because the electoral votes, they gave it to him. But now the Supreme Court said that whoever got the most popular votes in their state, that those electoral votes have to go to that person. And I believe that that's going to make a difference. So I'm hoping that, if,
That's huge.
Yeah, it is huge. It's an applaud for that. So I believe that he don't have that much of a chance if they follow through with the popular vote. He doesn't get the popular vote, somebody else gets it, and the electoral votes go to those popular votes.
Tajuddin, what kind of chance you give him?
I still think it's still people supporting this dude. These ignorant masses are still supporting this dude. And you really don't have anybody that's on his level to challenge him. Because now they digging up the dirt on Biden and all these other, so there's really nobody to challenge him on that. So I see him coming back in another 4 years just from the ignorant masses that's out here.
I say he has a 20% chance of being reelected, but I think his chances is better than what we think they are. So I'm leaning towards Tajuddin on that. For the record, I will go into the polls on November butt naked, no people, and stand as close as possible to individuals risking catching coronavirus to vote for Biden and company. That's just my take on it. Listen, this has been another outstanding show. I can't ask for a better group of people to conduct a show like this with and on this kind of topic. I just want to thank you all for being here, and my co-host, which is the founder of this program, Tanya. I'm gonna let her close us out. And once again, this has been a very, very, very good show.
Yep. So just as Ramel said, we want to thank you for tuning in tonight. If you missed any of our episodes, you can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Anchor, iTunes, and a few other podcasts. You can also follow us on Facebook and IG. Like and share and subscribe, because True Gossip is where gossip meets truth. Your opinions, they matter, and everybody's voice should be heard. Thank you for coming out.
Peace and blessings.